You know what I think is fucking weird? I think that it is weird that people seem to think that, like, if you make a choice or you try something or you do something, like if it's related to health or like your identity, you have to like double down and commit to it. And you can't like try something and then go back and be like, okay, wait, after having experienced that, I realized that's not for me. And like that it's not even a big fucking deal. I say that because for a good long while, I was dealing with trying to heal dissociative identity disorder. And I had male parts, male alts, so like parts of my brain pie, pieces of my brain pie were male personalities, which really means nothing because everybody has a mixture of both. And really, like, that's what that looks like is subjective anyways, but that's a whole thing up for a different day. Anyways, for a long time I thought I was trans. And I was very concerned about it because with my upbringing and just, you know, I was scared of that. That really scared me. However, like the last year, I had to, it's weird because I had to it's weird. I had to get to a point where I accepted that and embraced it and loved it anyways for me to realize that wasn't my truth. And it was weird. It was like, as long as I held on to this, like, oh my gosh, that's terrifying. I can't possibly be, what am I going to do? This is horrible. Oh my gosh, I can't do this to my kids. This is however, you know, all of the internalized negativity I felt from how I viewed that based off of everybody else's opinions of it. I had to go through the process of like looking in the mirror and being like, well, what if I am? What if I am? Am I going to not love myself? Like, I had to really allow myself to be okay with that and accept it for what it was in order to realize I had the wrong understanding of what it was. And the reason why I kind of was talking about it is because, so I just got out of the shower and I was like looking at my face. And so for the last few weeks, I have been having to do the little, I don't know these little, I would say like basically shave my face. And that is because in December, okay, so it started in November and I did 6 weeks of it. So I did 6 weeks of testosterone. And it's funny because it didn't really affect anything as far as hair growth until obviously I haven't taken it in, it's been about 6 weeks since I have taken it because I realized in doing that, like, you know, I came to the realization that it wasn't for me and that it wasn't really what I needed, but I needed to embrace it anyways in order to realize that. So anyways, it's funny, you know, like how hormones are delayed kind of. So I'm seeing the hair growth now. And I got out of the shower and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, I need to like, because you can kind of see where I have the definition where I like almost could have a shadow. And in a really weird way, I kind of dig it. I kind of like it. And I say that as a woman. I'm not a man. I'm not transitioning. But I kind of, in a really weird way, I kind of dig it. But anyways, I realized that I had this stuff that I had bought from the TikTok shop last year and I'd never opened it. And it was like, it's this like the hair identifier spray. It was like a super big craze kind of like 9 months ago. I've never tried it. And so I was like, well, maybe I'll just make a video trying it because I've actually got I've got some facial hair to work with. So that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of nervous. Let me see. I want to see how the spray is. Oh, I already know I'm going to hate this. I'm going to hate having this shit on my face. But here goes nothing. Ooh, it smells like my grandma. Whoa, it smells like my grandma. That noise is coming from inside the wall. Oh, did you not like being called out? Sorry, I talk to things that people probably think I'd be crazy for talking to. I talk to inanimate objects. So you didn't like being called out. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. No. No. I was pretending that I was being a medium, and because I am a medium, but I was pretending that that's what it was, even though that wasn't what it was. It's like a pipe. I can hear it. It was the neighbor, because this is a townhome. The neighbor next door, he was doing something with his water, and so I could hear it. But anyways, okay, I'm nervous to spray this. Okay, I'm scared. I'm really scared because I hate spraying shit on my face. No, because I don't like spraying this on my face. I don't want to have to spray it that hard. Don't like that. Holy shit, though. Dude. Okay. I'm just gonna have to do it. Wait, I need to put my hair, I'm gonna put my hair up. Just so that, I don't want to get that shit in my hair. All right, that looks ridiculous, but who cares? Okay, I just gotta commit. I can't breathe. Oh, I hate that. That's the worst. I can't breathe. I don't like that. Oh, I'm pissed. I hate that. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Horrible, awful. Dude. Look like I tried to eat out a bag of flour. No, that sounds yeasty. I walked my own damn self into that. I'm so sorry. That was absolutely abhorrent. That was absolutely unacceptable for me to make a disgusting joke like that. I'm so sorry. So, yeah. So we're just gonna... Dude, though. Okay. But if I were a man, let's say I was going to... What if I took the testosterone and was like, this is right for me, and I continued to do so? I would be the hottest fucking dude. Do you see how good my beard would come in? Bro, my beard would come in so fucking hot, and, like, I naturally have, like, I would have the, like, I'm sorry, I would be so fucking hot. And I think genuinely I needed to experience that to, like, realize what is my truth, and that I was misunderstanding I had the wrong perception of my own identity, and that's okay. But I had to be able to love myself as I was, no matter what my perception of myself was. Do you know what I mean? But now that I've done that, I look at this and I'm like, bro, though, if I was a dude and I did decide to, I would be so hot. You can't tell me otherwise. I know that more than half of you would agree with me. Holy hell. Like, genuinely so fucking hot. Like, you have no idea. I absolutely, it's not a coincidence that when I started growing into myself and loving myself, regardless of if I thought I was trans or not, because it doesn't matter, that's ultimately just a perception of my identity and how it is portrayed to others, that as I started doing that, it's no wonder that the people in my life who are unable to accept and love themselves started to really struggle with my presence. Think about that. It is not a coincidence that I lost almost everybody in my life for finding myself. And I genuinely hope that those people are able to also give themselves the love that they deserve to find themselves without judgment of what that looks like. It's okay to have an experience that needed to happen for you to understand something better about yourself and get to a better place, even if the experience was not a good one. Even if the experience was something that you're embarrassed about, even if it's something that you're ashamed of, or you feel like, wow, like I'm an idiot because I should not have put up with this, or I shouldn't have stayed here, or I should have done this different, shouldn't have made this mistake. Yeah, but if it got you to a better place now, why are you not happy about that? And so that's kind of my outlook on, like, so I kind of have received some judgment from one of my best friends that I had been friends with for years, who we had a falling out last year, and it was over Steven, essentially. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and she was very valid and right and correct, and at the point in my healing that I was not at a point to be able to recognize, like, because I needed help and, like, wasn't in a place to be able to see or understand what she was trying to present to me and help me with. And so I didn't accept that. Like, I didn't, like, accept her love and care and concern for me as a friend and as a person. And in doing that, it alienated the friendship, understandably. I totally get it. But anyways, recently, you know, I've been really, like, trying to kind of mull all that over and close out. You know, I don't like feeling like I leave things on a bad note. And obviously, I don't expect someone to just come back and be like, yeah, we're gonna pretend like nothing happened. But for me, I needed to be able to, like, I genuinely wanted to, like, acknowledge it and address it so that it could be left in that chapter and I could move on. And so I had messaged her and apologized and kind of cleared the air on some things. And I did that a few weeks ago, or maybe it was like last week, I don't know how long ago it was. And she had responded to me today. And
So it's hard because honestly I totally like understand everything she was saying and like where her judgment was coming from and why she was upset. Like, I get it. I get every single bit of it, and there's no judgment. Like, I hold no judgment for her judgment. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, I was a little disappointed, only because, like, I'm able to see and recognize that, like, if I'm trying to help someone or advocate for them or do something loving and caring for them, like, I get that it's frustrating if they're not in a place to be able to see it. But at the same time, I also understand that if they're dealing with mental health or abuse or a struggle or a disability such as autism, regardless of if that person looks disabled to you or not, I'm able to see those things and be like, yeah, it's really fucking frustrating that this person won't pull their head out of their ass. But like, also, I can't judge that, because if I understand anything about abuse or autism or mental health, I know that that person might not be in a place where they're healthy enough to understand that. And I can't hold judgment on them for that. Like, I can have my own thoughts and opinions on it, but I don't feel like it would be right for me to like hold judgment or try to shame that person for not seeing something sooner. You know what I mean? Because her response was kind of, you know, just shaming me for subjecting my kids to abuse and for not recognizing the things she was saying to me and for not listening and for siding with Steven. And I totally get it, because on a personal level, she's so valid. I understand every bit of it. But on the other side of the coin, you know, like, if you're going to acknowledge that you see that somebody's going through extreme psychological and emotional abuse, and you also like recognize that, you know they struggle with mental health, or that they're processing trauma, or that they have some sort of a diagnosis that affects the way their decision making and emotional coping operates, or they're autistic and have a disability, like, you have to take all of those things into account before allowing yourself to have judgment. And I think that was my only like qualm, because like, when I apologized, I didn't expect any response at all. I didn't expect anything back. I was just going to accept it for whatever it was. If she wanted to respond, if she wanted to not respond, however that looked. And so I accept it, I respect it. It's fine. But it was a little disappointing, especially because this person, the last I knew of, was in school to become a therapist. And I struggled with that a little bit, because when I responded to her, I really wanted to point that out. That, like, I understand where you're upset with me personally. And I understand that there feels like there was a betrayal there. Because there was. Like, I chose Steven over my best friends who have advocated and loved and supported me through so much that Steven had put me through. I get it, 100%, that it came from love and concern for me and my kids. But at the same time, it kind of highlights this bigger issue that people struggle with, of being able to separate their own personal emotions from how they perceive or view a situation. Because I know that she has a kind heart. I know that she has the best intentions. And I know that she genuinely had love, care, and concern for me and my kids. And I know that she probably always will, even though she's mad at me. I get it. And wants to keep me away. I get it. Totally understand. But you can't also like want to be in a profession of mental health, yet in your personal life see someone very clearly struggling with mental health, because that has been I've been open about that for 10 years, and recognize the things and see the signs and feel this concern, but yet also hold shame or judgment. Like, there's no room for both. I mean, there is room for both, but you have to be able to distinguish the difference. And I struggled when I responded to her this morning, because I wasn't trying to argue or deflect from how she felt. But at the same time, it did kind of, I've been thinking about it all day, like, just that it wasn't my place to, like, point out or bring up, like, well, for someone who wants to be a therapist, like, I would expect more from you. I would, blah, 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 like, because I wasn't trying to be like that, and I don't want to be like, I don't feel that way. But I've just been thinking about it all day, and I needed an outlet to, like, talk about it, but without, like, addressing it in a snarky, bitchy way, because I don't mean it like that. It's just, like, you can't,
You can't see something for what it is and then shame it for what you think it is. Like, you can't see something for what it is and then judge it for what you think it is. Because it was what it was. I was under severe psychological and emotional abuse. I was processing trauma and also processing a late autism diagnosis. And all of those things are very loaded and heavy. And I am really fucking proud of myself for even pulling my understanding out of my fucking ass as much as I have. And I'm not gonna let anybody threaten that, because I know how fucking scrappy and savage I have had to be, and how much strength I've had to have, and how much determination and motivation to find better for myself. Like, I know how much effort and work I put into that, and I'm not gonna let anybody kind of try to place their judgment on that. And so that was why I didn't, like, mention that to her like that. Like, I wasn't like, well, don't, you know, you shouldn't be misjudging me, blah, blah, blah. Like, I wasn't going to get into that, because it is what it is. But, I don't know. And I hope that, like, I'm not like, talking bad about her at all, or anything at all, because I totally, like, that's what's hard, is that I totally understand it on a personal human level. I get it 100,000%. It's just that I think that people, like, part of the problem with the way humans operate and why the world hurts so bad, and why everybody is, you know, struggling, and there's so much pain and confusion and judgment and shame, like, that's why, is because people are not able to remove their personal viewpoint or prejudice on something for what it is. And I guess that kind of ties into, in a way, weirdly, why I started the video of, like, I realized I had to accept that I am just what I am, regardless of the label, or if I'm trans or if I'm not, or if I try testosterone or I don't, or if I whatever. And my perception of that, like, I can't accept something for what it is and see the truth while also clinging on to a perception or a judgment of it. You know what I mean? Because to truly, like, love, I don't know how to say that. Not to truly love people, but, like, to adequately, for your actions of love, to adequately match your thoughts and feelings and heart love for somebody, you have to align those. Like, you have to be able to see something for what it is without the judgment. And now I'm like, I obviously mean that generally. I don't mean that, like, I'm not, like, speaking directly to this person. I'm not like trying to call anybody out. I just needed an outlet to, like, talk about it. And again, like, for me, it's like, it's coming from no judgment. I just kind of needed to, like, say it out loud to kind of, I don't know. So, okay, so, but despite the fact that I hated how that shit felt, the end result, I actually am, like, it feels really nice and smooth and shit. So now I'm just gonna do my normal skincare that I would do. And I'm just gonna use the little toner pad as the white wipe to wash it off, because I don't give a fuck. Because, like, I'm not, so, like, the shame of, like, feeling stupid or feeling like, oh my gosh, how did I let this happen? Like, how could I sit through so much psychological and emotional abuse and just be okay with it? Like, how could I not have understood or got myself out of there? Like, those are the thoughts that keep people in those places. And that's just my concern with that mindset, because that exact approach and mindset is what keeps people in this, like, fight or flight state of trying to pretend things are okay, or not seeing things for what they are, or being too, you know, having struggles with mental health and not being able to really see things for what they are, allowing themselves to be manipulated from the truth. And it's because of the fear of the truth. And, like, those are the very principles that, like, kept me from accepting and acknowledging the truth, so that I could get myself out of that situation. Do you know what I mean? And so, like, I really, today with her messages, like, I really had to kind of practice, like, control in my mindset of, like, okay, I'm not even gonna, like, come back and, like, defend myself, really, or, like, I'm not gonna be like, you have no right to judge me, or blah, 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 like, don't, you know, because I don't even want to entertain that energy or those thoughts, like, in the vicinity of my space, because when I start to do that, that's the self-hatred process of How could I have sat in that for so long? How could I have not seen the truth for so long? How could I let someone lie to me for so long? How could I put up with this? How can I possibly be a good parent or a good person for putting up with that? My kids deserve so much better. Do you see how that spirals? And so I kind of really had to be like, I can't even entertain that. And like, I'm not even going to entertain it, to really put a lot of thought and concern into explaining it to her, to you. Like I like very generally kind of corrected this, like her perception, but I wasn't going to defend myself, because in a way doing that it really is like entertaining those thoughts that I'm very sensitive to, because it kept me in isolation and kept me dissociating and manipulating truths in my head to cope with the reality around me, because I had to do that my entire life. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I don't know where I'm going with that or how to end it, but I really just like wanted to like kind of word vomit that. And again, it's not from a place of judgment. It was just like, I'm kind of proud of myself for it. Yeah. Because I can recognize how things look surface level. I can see how I understand how, you know, how I handled the situation affected the people around me and created concern and turmoil and stress. And like, I can acknowledge that and say that I'm not proud of it. I'm not happy about it. I regret that. I don't like that it existed. I don't like that it happened. But at the same time, I'm really proud that I've gotten to where I am, to even be able to see that for what it was and what it is, and acknowledge it and not hate myself for it. Because I'm done hating myself for the things about me that are subpar. You know what I mean? Like, I'm done shaming myself for having flaws, because everybody has flaws. Or I'm done shaming myself for, you know, maybe being a dumbass in a situation, because everybody has moments where they do really stupid shit, or they don't see things that are blatantly right in front of them. Or in this context, abuse. You know, like, you don't shame a trauma survivor. Like, you don't shame someone or judge someone for how they cope and handle their trauma or in their process. Obviously, you can hold concern and hope that they pull themselves out and can get to a place to adequately address it. But like, I don't know. Yeah, that's my info dump for the night. My face feels so fresh and so clean. I dig it. And then another thing too is that it also kind of told me, because, you know, like I miss those people. I miss those girls. I miss them deeply. I think about them every day, all day. Anything that happens, I still want to like go and text the group chat, and I can't. And like, obviously that is, I understand all that, and I know, you know, my part in that. But at the same time, it also, that interaction this morning also kind of showed me that perhaps, you know, I can want someone in my space and want them around and miss them and stuff, but at the same time, in their point of where they're at in their journeys, they might not be the best for my space. And that doesn't mean I can't love them and still want to be their friend, and like, it doesn't mean that I don't still want that, but like, it kind of showed me that she's clearly not in a place that would be healthy to also exist in my space. And I don't mean that judgmentally at all. It was just like, it showed, because I don't want that shame and judgment permeating into my energy, because it brings me, like, I'm very sensitive to that, and it brings me down. And as much as I would have, you know, been elated to have a different outcome where, you know, it could be mulled over, or I don't know what that looked like, because I honestly didn't put any expectations on it, but like, as much as I would have liked, you know, a different outcome, I also kind of appreciate that I at least got some closure in that like, I don't know. 93403XY 770. This was made in Germany. So was I. Well, not really. I wasn't made in Germany. I come from Germany. Ew, that made me think of Elon Musk, and I hate that. I used to love that dude, and no more. Anyways, yeah, I gotta go. I suddenly feel like really tired, but in a weird way, like, it's like in a weird meditative way, kind of like, it's like a weird peaceful, calm tired, where I just need to like sit and just like relax my muscles. I don't know. I feel weird. Okay, bye.